for arterial roads in and out of the city, parks, public amenities. Mr. Bennett was much younger, and Burnham had died, but Bennett designed this bridge over the river at this important juncture. The city was mainly growing on your left in the south side, and then when this bridge opened in 1920, the growth in the northern part of the city began to take off. So it was a very important connecting point. You'll see Du Sable written on the name of the bridge also. That is after Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable, the first non-native permanent settler here. Not looking forward to the future, but rather retrospectively to the past, to Europe for architectural inspiration. Quickly look left, it's going to go out of view. Above the Chicago's First Lady sign, we have a 1928 building in the Art Deco style. Art Deco is really the kind of ornamentation on the building. And if you could see it up close, you would see that inscribed there are all the fancy ornamentation on the building and this little belvedere right at the very top. Those are characteristics of the Beaux-Arts style. The second Beaux-Arts style is now on your left, a little farther ahead of the boat. It seems to have a green hairnet wrapped around the belvedere, or the little temple-like feature on the top. It's a 1926 design by Jaeger and Dinkelberg. The little temples, one on each of the four. It's a 1989 postmodern design by a firm from New York, Cone, Patterson, and Fox. Now what makes it postmodern? It's not that simple glass and steel box, but it has elements that remark its location. The air vents look like portholes. We're on the river, so that's appropriate. If you, oh my gosh, if you squint at the top, between the turrets, there is a little bridge-like feature that connects them. But let's take my word. I don't think we're going to see any today. And they, of course, don't all rise at the same time. That would be chaotic. They don't rise on demand. They have to rise on a schedule. Well, now let's look around and see what's nearby here. Look to the right. This building on the building, Goldberg believes urban density. So when you look at those balconies and windows very close together, you can see there's not a lot of privacy. Goldberg would have thought that was fine. He was hopeful of trying to design structures where people could live and work if they wanted to. So there are offices, there's a day school, and so forth at the base of the building. Presumably you could. But Chicago was still an important city, and there was still wealth here, and people came from all over the country, entrepreneurs, to help develop the city, or redevelop the city. And because the population was growing so rapidly, the need for tall buildings also occurred. Bulletproof windows at the top. I remember Bill Clinton stayed there in 1992 when he was campaigning. But River East has hotels, apartment buildings, condominium buildings, movie theaters, grocery stores, academic building of the University of Chicago. You saw that. A lot of walking around room, and that's for the purpose of keeping it active. Wind. Often the wind is quite strong out here on the lake, but notice there are no barrier high-rises to obstruct the wind. So a curved surface is going to deflect the wind. It sort of disturbs the wind, unlike a flat surface. Look at the base of the building. It's lifted up off the ground on stilts, maybe 10 feet apart, but it's the spire on top of the Trump Tower that earns it its second place in the tall building contest in Chicago. These newer buildings immediately on your left are part of Lakeshore East, the newest residential address in Chicago. It's about 25 acres, mostly residential buildings. I think there's a hotel in there. There is a school that those of you perhaps can see the red and blue and aqua stripes right above. It's 82 stories. Can you see it on the left? It's called Aqua, A-Q-U-A, the Latin word for water. And it will come further into view and go in and out of view several times. Now you've got almost the full height of the building. This is the first skyscraper design. Carousel for children. You see the Skyline Theater, that sort of tent-like structure. And if any of you all are feeling souvenir deprived, that would be a good destination. Maybe here. Off to your right, there is the Lock of Chicago. It's open. The doors are open right now. And if we were to go out into Lake Michigan, we would have to go into the lock, tie up, wait for the doors to close, and then on the east side, the doors would open up and let us into the lake.
Huh?
The lake is higher than the
Yeah, I
river
got all of it.
usually,
You know what? I'll
so
do a
you have to
panoramic
have that
just so
adjustment
good.
by using the lock.